JoshCast. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, it's the podcast that has, at this point, bum, 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 at best, 2 listeners per year. JoshCast, dun, 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 dun. JoshCast, dun, 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 dun. JoshCast, dun, dun. All right. Yes. Podcast. So I've been doing the podcast now. I think this is the 20-something podcast. And I'm doing these Instagram videos once a day. I'm doing an Instagram video a day. And so if you look at my feed, it's just, and I'm the only one in the video. So if you look at the feed, it's just like 30 pictures of me looking into a camera. So that plus the podcast, and I'm feeling. I don't think I've ever achieved this level of narcissism before, and I'm, as narcissists go, quite accomplished. So I'm doing all of this because what I keep hearing is you got to create content. You got to create content. You got to be a content creator, and I'm combining that with my desire to do everything by myself and have 100% control over everything I do, because I'm a control freak, which stems from a multitude of neuroses that could be discussed at length by a therapist. And the neuroses feel exotic to me, but are in fact common run-of-the-mill neuroses that everybody has. So I don't even feel special there anymore. So that's basically where I'm at in my life. That's where I'm at. I don't know how to explain what I'm doing to people who are... I barely know how to explain what I'm doing to people who are in the industry, let alone outside of the industry. I don't know how to have a conversation with my dad. How are things going, Josh? Well, I'm shooting little Instagram videos, and I'm recording a podcast in my car and publishing it and sending it out there. And yes, so I'm basically that's how I'm doing. And my dad will nod and go, "Okay, got it, got it." He's sad. That's what's going on, or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe he's pleased. Hopefully, he's pleased. Pleased. I make him sound like he's the emperor. He's pleased with your progress. So that's what's going on, and what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to be as authentic as I possibly can. I'm beginning to hate the word authenticity. I feel like I'm using the word too much, and it's becoming, for me, kind of a buzzword. And so I guess no bullshit. That's what I'm looking for. No bullshit. No bullshit. And yet I'm cataloging this as a comedy podcast too. I feel like if someone is stumbling upon this for the first time, they're going, where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? And I'm the joke. That's what I'm kind of trying to say with this. I don't know. Along with 19 billion other podcasts out there. But I'm just rambling, and this is like a therapy session, which is okay, but probably shouldn't be made public. So what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? The other thing. Why don't I come to the podcast with prepared material? That's a great question that was asked to me by no one in particular, and I think it's because I feel like lately, the fact that I'm coming in with something prepared means that I already have an agenda, and I want to see what happens if I totally remove that agenda and go in having absolutely no idea what I'm going to say, in the hopes that the truth is going to come out, and that truth is going to be something that Fox will want to turn into a sitcom. That's my hope. Well, I'm laughing at that. I don't know about the rest of you. But I complain about how lonely I am, but at the same time I don't really put any energy into dating. I just feel like I feel like when I meet somebody, maybe I'm boasting, but I can tell pretty quickly if I'm attracted to them or not. I read somewhere that it takes 12 minutes for a person to decide if they're attracted to someone else. And I think I've got that down to about a millisecond. And not, I don't want to, not in a shallow way either, because I'll walk by a really attractive woman. I mean, she probably is a supermodel, but there's something about her that just seems, oh, she's angry, or she's emotionally distraught, or there's something. You know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. It's if I walk by a beautiful, beautiful woman, but if I get the suspicion that if we got into a relationship, she would scream at me, I find that I get afraid and run away. I don't want to be screamed at. That's my big thing. Please don't cheat on me and don't scream on me. Beyond that, I think I'm pretty easy. What am I saying? I'm not easy. I'm a handful. I'm a fixer-upper. I'm something you flip and then sell at a higher value and get the hell out as soon as you possibly can. That's probably what I am. Is the I find lately too I'm making fun of myself more. I was trying to be political on stage, and I noticed there was I was at a show and somebody else was being political, and there were two people sitting in the audience who were just not going for it. They were on the side. They were on the side that was not the same side as the comedian when it came to political allegiances. And I thought, what? I want everyone to laugh. Where can we all find common ground? And where I keep coming to where we can find common ground, where all audiences seem to agree, is whenever I'm in pain. That really people seem to love that. They really get off on that. The Hobbit's in pain. Let's celebrate that. So I really think people will have the most fun at my funeral. That should be a huge celebration, I would imagine. Don't know. Sitting in my car looking at the Holiday Inn buildings in Burbank and the mountains behind them. And then questioning my life choices, I guess. There's a part of me that wonders should I, because I was for a while I was trying to do the auditions and do the acting thing, and I may want to go back to that, but I just felt like, I'm sitting there auditioning for a non-union commercial with 19 million other, quote-unquote character actors, and I just felt like I was going nowhere. And now, what I like about what I'm doing now is that I'm still going nowhere, but at least I have Final Cut. That's what I'm looking for. I have Final Cut on my. It's important to me to have Final Cut on my failure. I don't want my failure in the hands of somebody else. I want total creative control over my failure. I want to know that when I failed, it was 100% me failing. That is what I'm looking for. Definitely what I'm looking for. Trying to work on, and I'm frustrated too because the comedians. I really want to get on Conan. That's a goal I have, or on a late night talk show and do a 5-minute stand-up set. I just feel like it's like a rite of passage thing, and does it matter now as opposed to back in Johnny Carson days? I don't know, but it's a goal I have, and I'm just trying to work out. I want to work out a really strong 5-minute set, and I think right now I have 3. But I was just being told that really what I really need is actually several 5-minute sets, because if I do a good 5-minute set, they'll say, great, we want you back in 3 months, and I better have another one ready to go. So I'm trying to work on a 5-minute set that encapsulates my essence. This is my impression of. If I were to do an hour on stage of stand-up, this is my impression of that hour distilled into 1 minute. I'm terrified. I'm terrified. I'm terrified. I'm terrified. I'm terrified. Star Trek reference. I'm terrified. I'm terrified. I'm terrified. Star Wars reference. I'm terrified, I'm terrified, I'm terrified. That's pretty much it. So how do I expand that? It's finding 5 minutes. It's like finding 17 different jokes about terror, I think is what I'm trying to do. I don't know if anyone finds this interesting. You know what this podcast is turning into is a conversation that I'm having with nobody. And I don't have. What's nice is that I don't have to worry. If I was really talking about this with someone else, 5% of me, now 90% of me, as I'm having this conversation, is watching the other person, waiting for the moment where they check their phone, and then I go, okay, they don't care. I've lost them. Now I'm interfering in their life. Okay, and then I have to go through that rejection. Which is horrible. But now here with this, I don't need to be in the same room when you decide, okay, it's time to watch a YouTube video now. As far as I know, I can pretend that you are enraptured with the sound of my voice. I don't need to be there for when the urge to check your Twitter and see how your promotions are going becomes greater than the urge to see, is he going to say something funny? Is this actually a comedy podcast? Maybe if I wait till the very end, he'll finally pull out a great closer. They're doing... Oh, I just took the car in. That was another... That's my closer. I just took the car in. The tire pressure light was on. So the last time that happened, it was a slow leak. And they kept reassuring me this time around that no, it's just the low tire pressure, and all the tires were low. We put up the pressure, it'll be fine. And that's what they told me the first time, and I drove away. And then 3 days later, the light came on again, and it turned out one of the tires had a leak. And so I took the car in today, and I said, "Can you please just check the tires to make sure they don't have a leak?" And he was like, "Yeah." And then 15 minutes later comes in, "Okay, it's done. They were all low." So now I'm going to start the car, and I'm going to see if the tire pressure light is off. That's a plus. Tire pressure light is off. I operate under the theory that the car might be smarter than the people, but it's good. Tire pressure light's off. So immediately now I'm thinking, okay, the tire pressure light is off. What's the next catastrophe? I immediately go to that. Okay, what is it next? Is it going to be cancer? What is it? What is the next catastrophe? Didn't have to pay money on this one, but what is the next one? Stay tuned, and you'll find out. This is the end. I don't want to end with a thought about cancer, because then obsessive compulsively, I'll be thinking, is that what happens? So I want to mention something at the end here that's innocuous. Like maybe Predator 2. That's what I want to talk about. That's how I want to end this podcast. Just made eye contact, by the way, with somebody going to their car as I was talking into the phone. I'm holding the phone upside down like it's a dictation device. Very awkward, feeling very vulnerable, feeling like I'm open to attack right now with this. Yes. And he's walking back into the apartment. Okay, good. And we're done. This is the end of the podcast. The end of the podcast. And the children sing and the children play. This is the end of the podcast.